to the Stirred Up Show. That's right, hosted by me, LaTanya Taylor. And before we went to break, we was having our conversation, our discussion about why is it that some of our black men date outside of our race? You know, bottom line, what is it? What is that all about? But before we get back into the conversation discussion, we did have one of our guests to join us, and I want to give her an opportunity to introduce herself.
I'm Chanel Garner.
Hey, Chanel Gardner. Hey. Welcome to the Stirred Up Show.
Thank you.
Well, Chanel, you heard us talking about this a little bit earlier. What's your thoughts and input on the topic?
Well, I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm not mad. I'm not even pissed off because it doesn't affect me. But I have noticed that there are black men out there that only date white women. Mm-hmm. And I think that it kind of makes a black woman upset because they tend to think that we have attitudes or we're aggressive, mm-hmm. or, you know, maybe a white woman is more passive, mm-hmm. and they're easier to get along with. You know, I've heard Wesley Snipes say that, you know, he dated a black woman and she had a problem with getting a glass of water for him. So that's why he chose
Come on now.
Exactly. So he chose to be with white women. So that
So the mentality is that white women, they bend over more backwards.
Exactly.
They do more than what a black woman would do for them.
Mm-hmm.
I
wouldn't necessarily say that. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say.
But
that
that's what people say. People do say that white women bend over backwards and treat their man better than what
a black woman
will do.
But
that's what they say.
That is the perception. I mean, I have heard that before, but I don't necessarily agree with it. So, I mean, again, like I said, it's the perception. I don't believe it, because just like when you first start dating a guy, you will get him some water as well. You know what I mean? But as the years go on and he asks you to get you some water, you be like, look.
I do think that some black women do have attitudes, and they are upset.
But in the beginning,
women that have attitudes.
Absolutely.
But I think it's more with our race. I think our race take it to another level sometimes. Because we are known for not taking no shit, and white women, they say take shit. We don't take shit.
But that's what they think. That's what people think. That's not
what they think. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Well, I have to disagree because my mom don't take shit and she white. So I would have to say I can look at it from both perspectives. Mm-hmm. My mom is a white woman. She didn't take no shit from my dad. So I wouldn't say that white women are easier to do certain things or take more crap off of somebody else. I just think that it's that individual, it's that person, and I just believe that that's how it is.
Well, you know me, I went to Facebook to get some feedback today to see what they had to say about this. So this is some of the feedback I got from Facebook today when I posted out there what was their thoughts in regard to the topic. And I had one person say, I've dated outside my race, but the reason was never a question in mind because of my black mother or sisters. For me, it was more economics. Take the city bus or drive the BMW. Well, what does that mean? Going to the mall every Friday and eat their Red Lobster versus a black woman ain't taking me no Red Lobster and ain't no black woman taking me to no mall. He said, I was young and kind of stupid. He said, so I know that sounds kind of reckless and disrespectful. He said, but, you know, I'm a grown man now, but that was the bottom line. To be honest, that's his thoughts on it. I had another person's feedback. What's y'all thoughts about that? I guess before I go into other comments, what's y'all thoughts about that?
I would have picked that too. Instead of riding the bus, I would have ridden the BMW too. But it wouldn't make a difference whether he was white or black. For me.
Okay, I'm just saying that was his thoughts, his opinion. So when I do this, you know, we kind of gave some input and some thoughts. How about I turn it over to our audience and see if we can get some impact and some feedback from our audience on the topic. What do you think about it? What do you think about black men dating white women? Why do they do it? Why?
All right, I just want to say this first. It's like when you said you were like angry when you saw a black man dating a white woman. Mm-hmm. When I was in high school, and I couldn't understand why black women dated white guys. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I was from the time when Roots was out and I was watching Roots and I saw how white men treated black women. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I don't understand how a black woman would go after a white guy knowing that fact. Mm-hmm. All right, so now getting back to black guys, mm-hmm. While I dated white women, I never looked at color. I looked at the person, you know, and then they just happened to be white or whatever. And then in high school, the girls would always go after the quote unquote cool guys. You know, I was just regular. I was no hip guy.
Mm-hmm. So since the black women didn't want you, you dated white women?
No, not that they didn't want me, because a lot of them like me, and, but I felt with myself, I wasn't one of the cool guys, and I only had to be regular with white women. I don't only thing I had
So
to
you was able to be. So you was.
Living up to a
Yeah, you.
status with the black woman. That's what it sounds like. So you
Right.
felt like if you were with the black woman, you have to live up to certain expectations.
Right.
But you felt like you could be yourself when you was with a white woman.
right.
Okay, well that's good input. What do you guys think about that? I'm gonna turn it back over to the ladies. What's your thoughts in regard to that? I mean, I'll be honest. Sometimes I do see white women, with black men, and I do question. I do wonder. What is it? That what is that attraction, and what is that all about? Is it pure attraction? Is there other reasons behind it? But I just know that this has been that's just a conversation between us. I know there's been a lot of conversations in the media and so forth about that pretty recently. And I was watching Tara the other day, and they were even saying on her show that there was I forgot where it was, but they wouldn't even marry them. They don't do any biracial marriages or anything like that because they truly don't believe in it, and they don't feel like that a white woman should be with a black man. So you're right. I think some of that goes back to your point, Cassandra, you said about society. But I think one of the things we talked about, too, is, are black women really that angry and that upset? And this was another comment that I got on Facebook today. She said, knowing our role in our place, get over it. The problem is black women black women know our role. We are supporters and we're nurturers. But our men fall short. So we have to play every role. As far as dating outside our race, they asked me, did I see the Farrakhan interview on Sunday? Black men have always wanted the forbidden fruit. And to me, that goes back to, for some reason, black men feel like white women are the trophy, and we're not. That's just that's what society, that's what it is. But if that wasn't the case, then why do black athletes date white women? What's that about? I'm gonna turn it over to the audience. Why? You got Tiger Woods. I can go on and on. Tiger,
OJ.
Kobe, OJ. We can go on and on.
It is. Hello? You can hear
I
me?
can hear you.
All black men do not feel that white women is the trophy. They don't. I don't care how much money you make. There's a whole lot of black athletes out there that's married to black women.
But they don't get the publicity.
I'm sorry?
They don't get the publicity.
They don't get the
like the ones
publicity.
that
That's
marry
right. There's a
white
lot of black athletes that are married to black women. It's a whole lot of rappers and R&B singers that came from nothing and they finally blow up, and they actually go back and get their girl from the project.
I do agree. I think some of that does happen too, but I think the other piece we see so much of the highlights of black men going after the white women. I mean, bottom line, do you see, I guess, what's your thoughts in regard to, do you think us as black women, are we too strong-minded? Are we too overbearing? Are we bossy? Do we, are we truly a different character than a white woman? It has to be something that sometimes make men stray and go the other way.
See, men stray and go the other way. It doesn't really have to be a color. They're gonna stray and go the other
I
way.
think it's their own. I think it's the person. I think it's the person. If you date only out of your race, like I told you before, I think you have low self-esteem. You do not like your mother. You don't like something about yourself that you want to date solely out of your race. You're trying to change your genetics. So when you have kids, they look like they're mixed or what have you. So
Like Michael.
Like Michael.
Like Michael Jackson with all the
Yeah.
white kids, yeah.
And we know they ain't.
Exactly. So I don't know. It just got to be more to it than that. But are we mad? Are we just mad,
I'm not
angry
mad.
black women? Are we
I'm
just
not-
that mad?
I can't say that I am. And then if you think about it, now I've had a light-skinned guy be mad at me because I said before when I was younger, I only date darker guys. I don't like light-skinned guys. I mean, that was just, the whole...
That too light for you?
Yeah, I mean, that was just...
That was too light skinned for you.
Right, I mean, but what was my basis back then? You know what I mean? I just, it was just something that I said. It was just something that I thought. And, I mean, it's the same thing, really.
Right.
Okay,
Okay, well,
I
what
mean,
we going to
it's
do?
still a prejudice.
All right, well, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. Because I think one thing that one of our people on Facebook made a good point around, are our men really stepping up to the plate? So maybe it's even now, do you think about, are black women ready to step outside their race and date white men because they
Black
can bring
women
more
are.
to the table.
Black women are.
They can bring more to the
do.
table than what our black men can bring. So think on that, ponder on that, audience. My girls, I want you to think about that. And when we come back from a break, we're going to continue our conversations about the mad black woman. Thanks for joining the Stir It Up Show.